Hey guys, welcome back to Project Bodybuilding. In today's video, I'm going to be recapping all the men's division results from the 2023 Romania Pro. This video is going to be fairly quick, and I don't see any reason to prolong it with this intro, so let's go ahead and jump into the video. If you guys like these recaps, go ahead and hit the like button, of course, but more importantly, subscribe. I do these recap videos after every major pro show, so if you guys like to stay up to date on what's happening in the world of bodybuilding, make sure you subscribe for more and turn on notifications. Let us first turn our attention to the 212 division. Your top 5 there, starting with 5th was Lucas Garcia. This was his pro debut actually. In 4th we had Alexandru Vasil Uta. He literally earned his pro card the day before at the amateur Romania show, so he just hopped into the pro show and actually got a really good placing. In 3rd you had Radoslav Angelov. In your runner-up spot, you had Giuseppe Zagarella. This was actually his 212 debut. He was a classic athlete who last competed at the Arnold UK, and I really liked him there in classic, but then he made the jump to 212. He's added on a lot more size, but is still keeping those classic lines and even the vacuum. This guy should probably take it a little easy on the leg training though, because his legs are absolutely insane. And then your 2023 Romania Pro 212 winner was Ahmad Ashkanani. This was definitely expected. He just placed 5th at the Olympia 2 weekends ago. No one in this lineup was coming close on paper, but that ended up being the case on show day as well. Good for Ahmad. He was not qualified for the 2024 Olympia because now only the top 3 in each division automatically requalify, but now he has an early qualification. He has the freedom to take some downtime, have a longer offseason, whatever he wants. Now let's quickly head over to men's physique. I normally don't have too much to say at all about men's physique, and this time is no different. But I still want to give you your top 5. In 5th, we had Jeffrey Darko. 4th, we had Muhammad Ali. In 3rd, we had Furkan In 2nd, we had Kike de Oliveira. And your winner of the 2023 Romania Pro Men's Physique Division was Miroslav Jurasek. I may not have had much to say about men's physique, but those names were a mouthful. Forgive me if I mispronounced your name. Now let's go over to Classic Physique, and your top 5 there was, starting with 5th, Ali Shams Gamar. In 4th, you had Sebastian Theorel. In 3rd, you had Alex Westermeyer. In the runner-up spot, you had Ruben Lopez Reyes. And your Classic Physique winner for the 2023 Romania Pro was Wesley Vissers. Wesley was just 7th at the Olympia, and no other big names were jumping in here, so everyone expected him to win. And Wesley didn't disappoint. He won with a perfect score. Finally, let's get into the main event, the Open Division. Starting with your top 5. In 5th, we had Mohamed Fada. In 4th, we had Nathan Diasha. In 3rd, we had Marcelo De Angelis, aka Horse MD. In 2nd, we had Behruz Tabani. And your winner of the 2023 Romania Pro was Samson Dauda. Unlike the other divisions, I definitely have more to talk about with this one. The first thing I want to talk about is the upset that Horse MD pulled off against Nathan Diasha. Going into the show, most people expected the main fight to be between Nathan and Behruz for 2nd, because everyone knew that even on his worst day, Samson was going to get 1st. So many anticipated a battle for 2nd, with Nathan and Behruz fighting for it. Likewise, a lot of people had Horse around 3rd, all the way down to maybe 6th. So what happened? Well, let's break it down by each competitor. Let's talk about Horse MD first, and the first thing I want to mention is that he was really improved. This guy was planning on doing Classic originally and couldn't make the weight cap. And what we saw this weekend was a result of a year-long offseason dedicated to going to the Open. He managed to bring great condition too, and some pretty good lines. But he should keep the lines at the forefront of his mind as he continues to grow, because I felt that they regressed just a little bit here. But then again, he did add a ton of size. I just want to see his proportions remain intact. Now let's talk about his pros and cons. Starting with the cons, some of the posing needs work. Honestly, a lot of the poses in general need work. The front lat spread was bad. The back double could have been better. His side chest is a little too open. There were just all around a couple of stinkers in there. The other major flaw of Horse's is the back. The rear lat spread was honestly fine. I knew Horse had a bad back, so my expectations were low, but when I saw the rear lat spread, I was pleasantly surprised. The back double though is still amateur level. He could pose it a little bit better, but he just needs to double the width and detail in that shot. Now in terms of pros, for Horse MD, it's that shape. Like I said earlier, the waist maybe got a little bit thicker, but with everything else getting a little bit more thicker, his X-frame is still amazing. Another major pro of his was the overall size. He's not much taller than Nathan, but he dwarfed him. He's wider in the front, thicker in the side, and outmuscled him. Now that doesn't mean he was necessarily better. I'd have to do a deep analysis before I started making claims on that, but by just glancing at these two guys, Horse was bigger, and that accounts for a lot. Now let's talk about Nathan Diasha. In terms of pros, he still has okay shape. A lot of guys hate on him for his longer torso. I don't think it's that bad personally, but it can be really off-putting to some. He was still fairly complete athlete and did bring okay condition. He peaked well, but I think he's done better in the past, even earlier this season. Now, in terms of cons, I think some of the poses were really weak for Nathan. The front double is looking a little rough. He should work on some mobility because it looks like his arms are kind of stuck. He can't pop his elbows forward and showcase his arms in the full lat taper. The back double is also looking very shallow. Not as bad as horse though. Another major con is that even though I said he peaked well, it wasn't a 10 out of 10 peak. Some of the areas on his physique looked a little washed out, like the stomach. So considering both gentlemen's pros and cons, really Nathan had less flaws I could talk about, but less pros too. Overall, I wasn't wowed by him, and I usually am. I really like Nathan's physique. But I think Horse came out there, looked massive next to someone who's won 11 pro shows, and overall made a really good impression on the judges. Definitely let me know how you guys saw this one, and let me know if you want to see a full pose-by-pose analysis video for these two guys. Very quickly, I want to touch on Baruz Tabani as well. This guy isn't really getting talked about a whole lot. He's between Samson, who stole the show, and then a controversial 3rd and 4th place. But that doesn't mean he was bad. He was as good as ever. He has the good shape of someone like a Horse MD, but again had great conditioning. The best in the show, easily. He's also very complete and very muscular. If he competed at the Olympia this year, he probably would have been close to the top 6. And if Samson wasn't at this show, he would have dominated this one easily. And finally, let's talk a little bit about your winner of the Romania Pro, Samson Dauda. We all expected this to be his show. He would have had to majorly fuck this up in order to lose this one. It's nothing against the other competitors. It's just the fact that Samson is probably a future Mr. Olympia and is currently the 3rd best bodybuilder. Overall, I think he was actually better here than at the Olympia. He was a little soft at the Olympia, and the god-awful lighting didn't help showcase the details he was able to bring. He had another week to sharpen up and didn't carve up as much for this show, and this random European show somehow had better lighting than the actual Olympia, so overall he looked noticeably better. There isn't too much to say here. We all expected this, and Samson didn't disappoint. But to end the video on an inspiring note, I want to show you the difference that 2 years can make. In 2021, Samson was on the same Romania Pro stage, but could only place runner-up next to Rafael Brandão. Now fast forward to today. Samson is your Arnold Classic champion. He easily dominated this show, and is currently your 3rd best bodybuilder in the entire world. That is truly inspiring. And that is going to do it for this recap. Honestly, I was really impressed with the show. The IFBB should really start putting more shows right after the Olympia in order to attract more names. Samson took advantage of already being in shape, Ahmad took advantage of it, Wesley Vissers did too, and so did others that wanted to try for an early qualification. They used to do multiple show European tours back in the 90s that delivered us some of the best lineups and best shows of all time. Hopefully we can return to something like that. I think this show was definitely a step in the right direction. And hey, we will have another pro show in Europe just next weekend, the EVLS Prague Pro. So it looks like there is a push to return to the days of old. To end the video, I want to extend one more big congrats to everyone who competed in this show, and an even bigger congratulations to all the division winners. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more. With all that said, I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.